It's my pleasure to welcome you back to this channel as Pastor Nike that speaks to relationship enhancement and especially the marriage covenant relationship, child upbringing, and women empowerment. My name is Nike Ayola. A few months back in 2024, I was graciously given an opportunity to share a small talk with the Abuja chapter of my alma mater's Old Girls Association, the Federal Government Girls College, Benin City, during one of our quarterly meetings. In case you don't know, Abuja is the capital of Nigeria, my country of birth. And I want to dedicate these episodes to the heavy and beautiful chicks of our chapter. Go girls! Now, they didn't give me a topic, so I had to find a neutral subject that will be beneficial to everyone because the beautiful association cuts across age and religious gaps. Okay? And after brooding over the invite, I was able to zero in on one topic that is relevant, beneficial, and applicable to every living being: friendship. So in this video and the next, I'll be sharing about the topic of friendship on a wide spectrum in this episode and a very narrow one in the next, where I will talk about friendship and how it impacts the different relationships that constitute the family. And I pray that we all will be enriched and find meaningful applications for everything that I'll be talking about on this topic. Okay, let's dive in. A friend is someone who is supposed to be well known to you and who you regard with liking, affection, and loyalty. In other words, an intimate acquaintance or associate. They say research shows that nature's design is for us to exist in groups, but I'm sure we could have told the researchers for free that this is already enshrined in the Word of God, which says it is not good for man to be alone. And when God says something is not good, it is settled. There's no way to go around it and change that. For our ancestors, those who lived on earth in the beginning after Adam was created, they learned by experience that there is safety in numbers. At that time, isolation meant certain death, and social bonds and connections with others increased the chances of being protected, of finding food, and ultimately survival. And in our current world, research has discovered that the power of friendship is such that lacking meaningful social bonds can negatively affect both our physical and mental health. Loneliness causes an increase in the production of stress hormones, which send the white blood cells into overdrive and create havoc in man's immune system. Also, feelings of isolation can put us, especially when we are already dealing with stress, at a higher risk of experiencing physical and or mental health issues, ranging from depression to stroke or even heart disease, and you better believe it, insomnia or sleeping problems. In fact, the simple action of sharing your thoughts, your emotions, and your activities with others reinforces positive feelings and makes good memories easier to remember, which is a great benefit because it enhances our cognitive ability. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, a problem shared is a problem half solved, many times before, right? Sharing with our friends allows us to know ourselves better, since it helps us to at least articulate our thoughts on whatever it is that we're talking about. Sometimes you just have a discomfort or an uncanny feeling, and talking about it can help you pinpoint what, how, and why you're feeling that way. Sharing also helps us to find insights in our friends and other people's points of view, where they are divergent from ours. And often this is the power of suggestion at work, where you end up owning a viewpoint that wasn't originally yours. And one of the articles I read in preparing for this topic mentioned the health benefits found in friendship, especially for older adults, by some studies, that found that seniors with a large network of friends were more likely to outlive those without social support. So if you want to live long and well, pay attention to the power of friendship. And even though this is not totally an original thought, I believe that there is something irreplaceable about being physically present, the one-on-one, face-to-face connection with another human being. And no, as much as we love social media, there is none, and I don't imagine that there ever will be an app for physical connection. Or do you? And don't you agree that somehow cyber connection has the opposite effect, on all the great benefits of friendship that I've already mentioned, and that it actually can promote loneliness instead? Maybe because of the fake life that many of us project that will often lead to unwholesome competition and unrealistic expectations. What do you think? Anyway, you won't think that we are aware of the mostly negative impact of slowly replacing physical with cyber connection, not with the way we are all locked into our electronic devices these days. People hardly truly listen to one another anymore. Very sad. Listen, the people you surround yourself with have an enormous impact on your life, okay? In fact, in many ways, they shape your life and perspectives. That is the power of influence. And unfortunately, the more you allow yourself to be isolated from physical connection, the more you are going to lose those innate characteristics and emotions that make all of us human. Things like empathy, kindness, respect, and the like. We're all social beings. So friendships are key to happiness. We all need that friendship. There is relief and strength in knowing that you have a support system, that you have people around you who will be ready to find a stone for you to sit on and hold up your arms when you're too tired to carry on, like Aaron and Hur did for Moses. Someone who is ready to defy the strong and powerful, to stand for and with you, like Jonathan in the Bible did for David. Variety within friendships is also important. So don't look for friends who are totally or exactly like you. While it's natural to look for people who are like us, it's also helpful and enriching to expand our circle of friends to include people with different backgrounds, interests, and even upbringing. Age gap friendships are also beneficial. Such friends will bring something new into each other's lives, making for a richer social experience. The young people can bring energy and the older people can bring experience, something like that. We all have to remember that what we do today with friendship will be reflected later in life. It's the same principle of sowing and reaping. If you sow unfriendliness today, your harvest of loneliness will only be waiting for your future. And unfortunately, you'll be reaping at a time when there will be no remedy. Now, I want to do a little academic exercise here, and I'll assure you that it will be beneficial to you, especially as I will give us some exercises at the end of it that's bound to open our eyes to some important truths that affect our friendships that we often overlook. Aristotle, the philosopher, listed three basic types of friendship. I know some modern philosophers may have some additional categories, but I think that they're just exercises at simply splitting these three further. I think these three by Aristotle are as basic as it gets. The first, or number one, is friendships based on utility. That's the friendship that says there must be something in it for me, where one or both of the parties gain something as a result of the friendship, or where you can become friends with someone because you think that they can help you. This is friendship that is self-benefit driven, and in modern day language is described as networking. Number two is friendships based on pleasure. This is friendship centered around pleasant experiences or activities that make you feel good, like the crowd that you hang around with for happy hour. Even though I personally am yet to discover what's happy about it. These are people with whom you can have a good, carefree time, who don't know you intimately, and who probably won't hold you accountable for your actions and choices. The just be yourself kind of people. That's number two. And number three is friendships based on virtue. This is friendship where the individuals involved share the same values and we have somewhat similar standards and expectations. This is friendship with people you admire and respect, people who will drive you to becoming better and will readily be your toe holder and accountability partner, and that you can be the same for. There are people with whom you align on what matters and you find most important in life. Now, there is nothing particularly wrong with any of the three categories, and in fact, we all usually have friends that fit into all three. There are even situations where one category can evolve into another. But as beneficial as they all are, only number three, friendships based on virtue, are enduring and really meaningful. In fact, number three is regarded as perfect friendship because it's a connection between those who are alike in virtue. People who will wish each other well in all circumstances and will genuinely work for the good and benefit of one another, and where there is no competition or envy. And number three is hard to come by because it demands a lot of effort and input. Now, the first of the two exercises I'm going to ask us to do is this. Think about all your friendships and try to fit them into one of these three categories. Like I said earlier, there's nothing particularly wrong about the three, so just be honest with yourself. Now, if by any means you discover a friendship that falls into number three, please cherish that relationship and do everything in your power to nurture and sustain it. Now, you will imagine that as much as we understand the benefits of good friendships, everyone should be falling over themselves to make friends. Unfortunately, many of us hardly have many friends, or where we do, they are mostly in categories one and two, but seldom in three. And what is majorly responsible for this is the fear of vulnerability. You see, vulnerability is a measure of true friendship, and people are scared, including me, of being vulnerable. Nobody wants to be hurt or give someone else the power or ability to hurt them. That's why a lot of friendships will remain at the level of friendships based on pleasure. Number two, on the surface. Because many of us are afraid of letting others see, read, and understand the true us. But friends are supposed to be people that you can open up to and be vulnerable with. Friendship is supposed to be a safe place, where you can drop your guards and your masks and just be yourself. You should be able to bear your soul with true friends without the fear of being judged. True friends should never humiliate or shame you for being vulnerable. And best friends are the ones that love the parts of us that we hide from others. So if you have to hide your true self or guard your heart against a friend, then he or she is not a friend. I will make reference to this portion of my video in the next one, so please take note. I know that there are a lot of toxic and unhealthy friendships out there, but please remember that friendships are simply a reflection of the value that we believe our lives hold. The people you are friends with show how much you value your life. Birds of the same feather, they say, flock together. This means that when we tolerate toxic, condescending, and unhealthy friendships, it reveals the lack of value that we have for ourselves. A wise woman, Eleanor Roosevelt, once said that nobody can enslave or disrespect you without your consent. One of the reasons why many of us may have bad friendships is because we have wrong values and expectations, or because we don't actually know what to look out for when establishing friendships. So let me give us a brief, but definitely not an all-inclusive list on what we need to be looking for. Our second exercise will be at the end of this list, so pay attention. First is authenticity. Actually, authenticity must be the foundation of all our friendships. The person you want to be friends with must be who they say they are. Any relationship entered into under false pretenses will ultimately fail, whether it's friendship or others, like marriage. Second is loyalty. Loyalty is a key to successful friendships and is not the same thing as condoning or covering bad behavior. Loyalty means that the person is trustworthy and reliable. It means that they are faithful to your friendship and to you as a person. A loyal friend has your back always. Thirdly is unconditional love. Unconditional love must be the pillar of all friendships. Now, unconditional love is love without conditions and without boundaries. If the person you call your friend is condescending and treating you like you are beneath them, you're simply wasting your time. You need people that will love you unconditionally. People who are concerned about your well-being and your welfare. And number four, the last one I'm talking about is the best version of you. You need friends that bring out the best in you. Right friendship, will always elevate your life and make you better. Friendships should enrich and expand our lives and help us discover treasures within us that we never even knew existed. Someone who is the right fit for you will perceive your value and help pull greatness out of you. Any friendship that is not adding to you or is always draining and drawing from you without replacing anything, or that is forever dumping on you without lifting you up, is no friendship. Now, like I said before, this is my personal list. The exercise is for you to create your own list, and you are under no compulsion to include any of the four things on my list. Once you have made your list, the next step is to rank them in the order of importance to you. For example, loyalty ranks highest in friendship for me. Once you are done ranking your important qualities for friendship, please try to share it with me and all of us, by posting it in the comment section. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have on your list. At least I've shared mine with you all. I believe this is the perfect place for me to round up this video, with tips on how to cultivate good friendships, the number three kind. Everything in life starts from being a seed. Friendship is a seed that we need to sow. In friendship, you sow yourself. So to have a friend, you have to start by being a friend. And then you have to model what you're looking for. For example, loyalty is most important to me. So if I want loyal friendships, I have to model it, by being loyal myself to my friends. You can't demand what you are not bringing to the table yourself. We also have to keep in mind that long-term friendships, the kind that spans decades, is hard work. A Nigerian proverb says that 20 children cannot play together for 20 years. Some will move away, some will pass on, and some will simply outgrow the friendship. So if you have a number three friendship that you want to keep long term, you have to be ready to pay the price. It's not cheap. This is because friendships have to be nurtured so that they can grow healthily. Just like a plant, putting the seeds in alone is never enough. Ongoing care and attention are needed So it's crucial to make conscious effort, to invest time and effort in our friendships. We can't expect any relationship to survive without investing in them, friendship including. Finally, always aim to be there for your friends. Be a mindful listener and prove that they can trust you. Don't only look for trustworthiness in others, be that yourself first and foremost. And be generous with praise. Write or tell your friends unabashedly what their friendship means to you and spend time doing things together. And I bet you, if you apply these tips, you'll be able to transform some number one and two friendships into number three. In the next video, and I'll still be talking about friendship, I will focus on the different sub-relationships that exist in the family and how we can leverage friendship to transform them for our good. So see you in another 2 weeks. And don't forget to subscribe if you are new or you haven't done so. And also please like, share, and post your responses to exercise number 2 in the comment section. Shalom, shalom.